Welcome, everybody. This is kind of a newer segment, but we're going to do an addition to a post-game. We're going to call this a player review. I got Chris Marr here with me, and we're going to go through the results of the game, but more from a perspective of, let's just say, opinions, right? We don't need to go so much on just their statistics and everything, but we're just going to go through their performances for the night. The Flyers just defeated the Pittsburgh Penguins in overtime, winning a 3-on-3 by Scott Walton on a beautiful goal. First of all, what do you think about that game, real quick, and then we'll go through the players, Chris.
That was a great game. Excuse me. It was, to be honest with you, it was more fast-paced than I expected for not playing in 141 days.
Totally.
And that goes for both teams. I didn't expect it to be that fast-paced in the first period, those first couple minutes there. And it for some reason, like, I don't know if you feel the same, but is it me or did the offensive chances after the first period, like, settle down? Like, it seemed like that teams were getting more, like, scrappier kind of chances. There wasn't really anything, like, high quality. It was kind of just, like, the defense really started to settle in. And I thought the special teams for both teams, the Flyers, penalty kill was good. We didn't see much of the power play. The Penguins' penalty kill was good. And again, I thought the defense was good for both teams. I thought all four goaltenders played well. But all in all, it was a good game. I was glad the Flyers beat the Penguins.
Yeah, it was a typical Flyers-Penguins game. I will say it felt like the Flyers took their foot off the pedal.
It
did. Took their foot off the gas, let's say that. And for good reason, it's still a preseason game, and while I do think it was an important game more than any preseason game, and I think they were taking it seriously, and we saw that in the pace. But I do think that there's a hint of maybe, being like, okay, we're not gonna, this isn't really the game where we want to kind of go 100% here. We can actually lose this game. It's not the end of the world. They don't want to lose any games, but I would say round robin and then on is probably gonna be a lot more intense. So. But I think the better team won. I think the Flyers looked at the better team, even with the Pens comeback.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the one thing was like, and going off your point of them saying that they slowed down, like, at one point I think they had one shot in the third period, the Flyers. Yeah. And I think the shots were 6-1 at one point, and that was under the 10-minute mark. So that right there alone just tells you that the Flyers, to be honest with you, it kind of seemed like that the Flyers were kind of just chipping away and just getting the puck in and changing. Like, that's how they usually just play, just to really secure the win.
Yeah, it felt like they were waiting it out. Yeah, it did feel like they were just trying to lock it down. But on and on. Let's go down to the players. Let's just get down to the nitty-gritty, as we like to say. And let's talk about the players themselves. We're going to start with the forwards, and we'll work our way to defensemen, and we'll finish up with the goalies. And this is a good one, actually, because everybody got to play, including the backup goalie, right? So we actually have a wide variety of performances here. So let's start with number one, Travis Konechny. What do you think, Chris?
I thought TK was good. My problem with him and his line mates, Lawton and Hayes, they didn't shoot the puck enough. Like, how many chances did they have where they were just like, it's just like they could literally cycle the puck for 2 minutes and get maybe two shots. It's like, come on. And then late in the third, they had that 2-on-1, and Konechny finally decides to shoot, and it goes off the glass and around. I'm just like, come on.
No, that was actually saved. That was actually a really nice shot. If you
watch that was a save?
That was a save.
Yeah,
I initially thought the same thing, because I was like, you gave up that shot earlier when Hayes set you up, like you're saying. Mm-hmm. And then he did have a good opportunity. Wasn't his best game, but also wasn't a bad game. Mm-hmm. And obviously that line finished strong in a sense. All right, let's move on. We'll go quickly. Michael Raffl.
Solid game. I don't really think he got like that many minutes. He wasn't. I mean, he was sort of noticeable. I thought he was good on the penalty kill. I think it was just like a typical Michael Raffl game.
Yeah, he got beat once, but he also had a decent game. He had a good game. I wouldn't say he had a bad game.
No, I don't think anybody had a bad game.
Yeah, and he played penalty kill. I mean, overall, I think he's a victim of our depth at this point because, again, with Pitlick, and again, we'll go through the other guys, there's just so many guys who can do that role now on this team. All right, so next player, Kevin Hayes.
Hayes was phenomenal. I thought he had a really good game. Defensively, offensively, he had the goal. which was such a boneheaded play by Malkin. I still can't understand how he's got that. But even still, I thought Hayes had a good game, just didn't shoot the puck enough. And I think when that line shoots the puck, that's deadly. That right there, that's a really solid line if they start to shoot the puck more.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And you saw, it's almost like it was a chemistry thing, like they didn't have the Lawton line. They didn't even have Lawton on that line, I think, when the season stopped. I think they tried to shift him back down again and kind of play around with it. But they had so much success in that short spurt that maybe they have to work their way back to it. But I thought he was great tonight. I think Kevin Hayes is a presence.
Yeah.
Like, when he's on the ice, he's a presence. Physically, emotionally, like the personality. And again, we talked about Keith Primo. Primo did a lot of the same things. And they're not the same player. They don't play exactly the same. They just bring similar elements, like the personality, with the physicality, with the two-way game. That was what Keith Primo brought to this team, and the leadership. So I'm happy. I'm happy with Kevin Hayes. All right, number 14, Sean Couturier.
I thought Coots had a really good game. I thought that line was really good. Giroux, Sherry, Voracek. Coots had the goal, kind of lucky. It was I didn't even realize that it went in at first. It went off, I think Pedersen, and then I guess it went off Murray too. But I thought Coots had a strong game. I thought he was good defensively. I thought that line was actually the best line at moving the puck out of their zone quickly. And I thought Coots had a really strong game, and I think that was good too because he might have had a little motivation from the birth of his daughter on the 23rd.
Yeah, I thought he had a great game. I thought he had one shot on net where nobody even expected him to get a shot. He was in front of the slot. He cut through two dudes and then just got the shot on net. I honestly think it's a fraction of what we're about to see out of Sean Couturier.
Oh.
And I think Provorov, we'll get to him, but I think same with him at this point. Mm-hmm. So Coots, I agree, strong performance. I mean, it showed in the numbers, and he only played 19 minutes. I feel like
I think he was the highest on offense in ice time.
Yeah, but they spread it out pretty fairly because normally he would get 21 minutes. Yeah. So next, 18, Tyler Pitlick.
I didn't think Pitlick was that noticeable. Nothing bad about him. I just didn't think he was that noticeable. I didn't really think that third line was noticeable. The one time I thought they had a really good shift it was under the 6-minute mark of the third, and the third line it was Albe Kubel, I think. I'm sorry. It was Pitlick, JVR, and Grant. They were out there. They had a really, really nice shift in the last couple of minutes, and they started to kill some time. JVR, he had a couple chances to pot one, and then I think the fourth line came out after that, and then the first line came out, and then that was when they went down the other ice on the offensive zone draw, and the Penguins tied it. So it was around the 6-minute mark of the third. But again, I think that was their best shift all game. But I thought Pitlick had some okay chances. But again, I think he had a strong performance as well.
He had a good physical game. He did a lot of checking, but I did feel like that line chased a little bit, to your point. I suspect the bottom 6 lines will not stay the way that we saw them today. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw different combinations put out there.
Maybe Barman or Frost.
Yeah, I mean, potentially Frost for sure. I mean, they should definitely give Frost a look. I don't know if necessarily even that. Maybe just more mixing up the players that are in that 6, mixing up who they're with. Maybe keeping Albe Kubel and JVR together. I don't know. Pitlick with him. I don't know if any of it really makes that much sense. And maybe Frost is the kind of the preferred move there. But we'll see. I mean, they're all good players, and they played well, so I don't suspect big changes. I expect more maybe of a mix-up. Or maybe they just let them, see if they can gain any momentum. All right, next, 21, Scott Lawton.
I think you got a visitor behind you. I think your dog came in.
My dog. You can ignore her. You don't need to worry about it.
Yeah, it was the door opened, and then I just saw the dog walking. But as for Lawton, I thought Lawton had a strong performance at the game-winning goal. I thought he was good on the penalty kill. As I said, that line was good. I thought he had a physical game as well. Lawton, I think he was good on offense, good on defense, good on the penalty kill. I don't know how he did on, I was going to say faceoffs, but he wasn't the center on that line. I thought he had a strong performance, and I think the game-winning goal definitely topped that.
By the numbers, he had 2 minutes of PK time, which is, I believe, leading all forwards in this game. So he had most PK time. He had a goal tonight. He was a +2, 3 hits, 2 shots on goal, 16 and a half minutes of ice time. You can tell this line will probably stay together because while they didn't have amazing chemistry, there's definitely something there because all 3 players had a strong performance. So I think they'll continue down that road. But I agree, Scott Laughton. I mean, the game-winning goal, strong two-way performance overall. He's finally turning into the player that the Flyers drafted, and it took years, but I mean, here he is, and he's pretty damn good. All right, next 25, James Van Riemsdyk.
He wasn't that noticeable on his line. I think that's because they got limited ice time, and also I think it's different with JVR too because we see him on the power play, so that's why we see him more. And he wasn't on the first unit; he was on the second unit. And again, I actually thought that power play was good for both units. I thought that was a really good power play for one, only getting 1 power play in the game, and 2, kind of having, I guess you could say, having a struggling power play in that scrimmage where in that first period of I believe the last scrimmage, they went 0 for 10 or had no goals in over 10 minutes of the power play. But again, I thought the power play was good. I thought JVR was solid. I thought he was physical. I know he had that sort of breakaway chance at one point, kind of flubbed the shot. I think that was probably his best chance of the game, but regardless, I think he had a good game. I thought he was pretty physical for being JVR, so I thought he had a pretty good performance with the limited ice time he had.
I'll be honest, though, he's got 3, and I didn't notice this really either while watching. It looks like he has 3 giveaways in the game. 1 block, he played just under 11 minutes. Not a great game for JVR by the numbers, though I do agree. It looked like more of an issue of the line more than just JVR. He's usually actually pretty good at 5-on-5, especially in that third line position. Yeah. So I would just give that more time. Not the best performance, but maybe Frost is something to consider there. Put him with a playmaker. All right, next, the captain, Claude Giroux.
I thought it was phenomenal. I thought Giroux had a really good game. He had that assist on Coots' goal. That was such a nice play with the way he basically he set that whole thing up. I mean, it looked like they were going to get some bonus power play time, and he sets it up, and Coots ends up getting lucky with the deflection. But even still, it was a nice play for Giroux. I thought he was physical. He was good in the face-off circle. I thought he had a really solid game all around. And I think him out there reminded me of Hayes when he's out there. It's the presence thing when Giroux's out there too. And I thought Giroux did really good in that category tonight.
He showed off those silky smooth mitts today. I would say he had a lot of really nice plays, a lot of really nice touches, little plays, just stick work was all over the play. It looked like he was having fun, to be honest with you. It looks like it felt good to play hockey again, and it looked like he's ready to dominate this.
He was moving.
That top line was, there was a lot of good signs really on that top line tonight. All right, 38, Derek Grant.
I thought Grant had a really good game. One thing I will say about Grant is that I like the way that he was with the face-offs. I don't know how many he had, but it looked like he was winning a lot of them.
60%. He won 60% of the face-offs. I don't have the exact number here, but
he
won 60%. So definitely did well.
Yeah, so I thought he was good in the face-off circle, and at one point in the first, the Flyers weren't doing too good in face-offs, and then in the second, they really started to heat it up. I think they were, I think by my memory, they were 11-2 at one point in the face-off circle. I don't know if that's 100% accurate, but even still, I thought Grant had a good game, and again, he kind of switched around at some points with penalty kill and then the Hayes line and things like that, but all in all, I think it was a solid performance. I mean, as I said, I don't really think anybody played bad, so it seems like I see solid performance for a lot of them. That's probably why.
Yeah, it was a physical performance by him. I think he's got more, but I agree. Good call on the face-off. All right, Nate Thompson.
I mean, I thought he was actually really good on the penalty kill. I thought Thompson was great on the penalty kill today.
Yeah.
That was one thing I thought. I think that's what he's best at. I mean, he kind of had some limited ice time because he's also played with different guys because Raffle and Farabee would interchange on that fourth line with Albicu Bell, so he definitely would have to switch it up. But I thought Thompson was pretty good for the minutes he had.
Yeah, it does show that there is an opportunity there for Frost, though, with all these names, right? The physical edge of all these players. You can potentially add a more dynamic player to that bottom six, play him with play him with Derek Grant or something like that. I guess it gets a little complicated, but maybe Pitlick, maybe JVR, right? Somebody who's responsible defensively, something like that. I mean, you could pull off maybe a nice line there, but I think adequate job by Thompson. He does exactly what he's supposed to be doing, and he actually played more than Derek Grant tonight, but had more PK time, so nice opportunity for him. All right, next, 49, Joel Farabee.
I didn't think Farabee had the strongest game, but I think he was pretty good regardless. Some things with him is that I just wish he would realize when to make plays, when to make them, if that makes sense. I probably worded that wrong, but like there was a play where it was like either a center ice draw or it was off at the circle in between the blue line and the red line, and the puck just dribbled to him right off the draw. It just dribbled right to Farabee at his wing, and he just smacked it. Instead of picking it up and dumping it, he smacks it right to Letang, the guy who can move it probably the best out of that whole Penguins defense. Moves it quick out of the zone, and it generated the scoring chance the other way for Pittsburgh. I just wish Farabee would, and I love Farabee. To me, he's a center wing. I think he plays really good defensively, but he seemed a little off today. And again, it's not a knock at him. It's just I think he could have made some better plays than the ones he made. But regardless, all in all, I think he had a pretty solid game. I thought he was a lot more physical than what we expected, and he also was on the fourth line. But even still, I thought he played really good for the limited minutes he had. I just wish he would maybe think a little bit more before he made those plays.
Well, that was actually, I thought, was the downside of his performance. I felt like he was playing a physical game, and that's not really where he excels at this point. And maybe that's where you rotate Lawton back down, if he can carry a line. Because I don't know if Farabee playing against, more physical players, I don't know how great that is. Mm-hmm. But also, I agree. I think that's where he had a downside tonight, was the physical game. But I expect him to rebound. I think he's a highly skilled player, and as the confidence comes back, so will his game. All right, 62, Nicholas Aube-Kubel.
I thought Aube-Kubel was really good. I thought he had a couple good plays late in that third where he was really getting in there and making, and he was like a force in that zone. I mean, there was a couple times where he would just real aggressive with the stick lift, and he would get in there. And that he was actually one of the biggest reasons why the last couple minutes of the game they were really cycling the puck, because he was keeping it alive in the zone. All in all, I thought he had a good game. I wish we could have saw a little bit more of him on the power play. I know he was on the second unit, but it would have been nice for them to maybe get another power play or two at some point. But again, I thought he had a good game for the line that he was on. And as I said, I believe he was. I keep getting this mixed up now. Then I think about it with the third and fourth line. He was the one who interchanged because he was with the fourth line, right?
Yeah, and I think he was on the fourth line as well. But I mean, they always mix him up into the other group. But I believe he played the majority of the night on the fourth line. He had a little bit of power play time and only 9 minutes of ice time. Yeah,
for the 9 minutes. Because I could have sworn I saw him out there with JVR and Pitlick at one point. And then I know he was out there on the fourth line because I remember reading that from Jamie's tweet about the lines. So, again, I thought he had a solid game for the limited ice time, the little bit of power play time, and the different line mates and things like that.
All right. I thought he was good. I didn't think he was great. I thought he made some decent plays. But I expect him to ramp up. The physical edge is something he has, so it's nice to see. All right, Jake Voracek.
I thought Jake had a really good game. I thought he made some.
He missed that goal in the beginning, though. That was the only thing. I obviously it was the very beginning. It was one of the earliest shifts. But if he would have buried that goal early, that would have been just a dominant stance immediately. Yeah. He had a one-on-one with the goalie, and he just flubbed it off the stick. Not a huge mistake, but. Mm-hmm.
And it looked like Murray just got a toe on it or something like that. I couldn't tell if he kicked it or just hit his pad, but regardless.
You just want to see him bury it. That's all.
Yeah, that's just
not really. Yeah. I don't care, but.
Yeah, and it didn't help that he fell down either. I think if he was up, that would have been an easy tap in for him.
Yeah.
But regardless, I thought Jake had a good game on that line. I thought he was really good on the power play with the chances that he had. He had a couple really good shots. He was just throwing it towards the net. Yep. And then he actually basically generated that like mini 5-on-3 they had when Dumoulin went down. Because when Jake shot it, it hit Dumoulin right in the foot, and then he was kind of just circling the puck back around again. I thought Jake had a really solid performance. I mean, I don't really think he was bad defensively. I can't really remember a time where he made a bad defensive play. One thing is, I just wish that line moved the puck a little bit quicker than they did, even though I think they were the best line. I just wish they moved it quicker. But again, it's going to take time to get used to it. I mean, it's the first game in like 141 days. So again, I'm
being nitpicky with Jake Voracek. I think that line actually continued right where they left off, and I think they are a crucial element to a Stanley Cup run. And the fact that they can be counted on to put up points on a regular basis is a great sign. All right, let's move on to the defense. Phil Myers. It was a -2 tonight, no points.
Yeah.
18 minutes of ice time.
The -2 kind of rubbed me the wrong way a little bit.
2 hits, 1 shot on goal.
How many shots on goal? 1?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought he had a solid game. I just wish they would get that. I mean, they were moving the puck quick, but that was really early, and that was the Provorov-Niskanen pairing that moved it quick the best. I thought, for some reason, Sanheim played really good. Myers, he pinched a couple times where I didn't want him to pinch, and it generated 2-on-1s, 3-on-1s, and scoring chances the other way. But I thought that all in all, I thought he was pretty good defensively.
Yeah, I think he was all right. Actually, I don't think his numbers, and we'll get to Sanheim next, he's also a -2. I don't think that plus-minus really reflects on the way the team played.
No,
I think the team actually played pretty well. I think Phil Myers, again, for him it's a timing thing. I think Sanheim is, I don't want to say a smarter player, he's a more patient player, maybe slightly more poised than Myers, and I think it shows in his game. But I thought Myers had a pretty good game. I think he can play a lot better, so I expect him to play a lot better. But again, nothing really that stuck out where I'm like, oh, he played poorly.
Yeah.
All right, Travis Sanheim, 20 minutes of ice time, -2, no points, 1 shot on goal, 1 hit, 2 blocks.
Yeah, I thought he was around the same thing with Myers. I thought they were good. It was just the -2. It didn't help, but again, I don't really think, as you said, I don't think the numbers really reflect on their performance or the team's performance. Regardless, I think that line right there. I thought that played pretty. I thought they both played pretty good tonight.
Yeah, I expect them to stay together.
I don't see them switching that up much. If anything, I see them maybe putting Braun with Hag. I don't see them maybe switching much up. Maybe Braun with Zamula. I'd like to see that, but who knows?
Yeah, we'll get to that, but I think Hag is about to lose his spot in the lineup. Let's go to the big dog. Well, I guess my take on Sanheim, I completely agree with you. I just think Sanheim is becoming an amazing defenseman.
He is. Is it me, or is he's coming into more of like a defensive Provorov?
He's a very offensive player. I would just wait. I would just give him time.
Real.
He's going to be an offensive defenseman. But the thing is, Provorov he's his own beast. Actually, Provorov is starting to look like Niskanen, and that's kind of freaking me out a little bit. They literally look the same on the ice now. They're the same size.
With the beards and everything.
With the big beards. I guess one's got long hair, the other one doesn't. Mm-hmm. But it's not getting easy. But so what do you think, Provorov? 1 assist, hit a +2 tonight, 2 shots on goal. 1 takeaway.
Yeah, 25 minutes of ice time.
Over. Almost 26.
Yeah, over, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought Provorov was fabulous. I thought he was really good.
Yeah,
I thought he was him and Niskanen were really good at moving the puck out. Like, they were just quick. Like, that was the biggest thing that, like, made me go, like, oh my God, like, this is crazy. Because they were moving the puck so quick out of the zone. I was thinking, like, it was going to take them a little bit to get used to moving it like that, you know? But again, before, like, the game was really fast-paced in the beginning. It started to settle down. But again, like, it was fast-paced in the beginning. It was a good game. It was a good first game for the Flyers and for the NHL. And again, I thought Provorov was really good. I thought his deep partner Niskanen helped him out too. And I thought joining the rush, he was good tonight as well.
So let's just go. Well, okay. So I think, real quick, Provorov is obviously becoming an elite defenseman. The fact that he's not even on that list that came out, like that, they're going to be
such a joke.
It's as embarrassing as the Sean Couturier not being on the list. Mm-hmm. Retrospectively, it's like, oh, okay. Mm-hmm. So that's how you guys watch the game. I think you can watch pro at his age, just the overall of what this guy brings on a regular basis. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it's an accident he's playing 26 minutes a night on potentially a Stanley Cup caliber team at this point as well. And he's the youngest. I think he's the youngest of all the defensemen, right? No, he's the same age as Myers. But of the mainstay defensemen, he's the youngest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and he's playing the most. So just something to keep in mind. All right. So Provorov is amazing. On to Niskanen.
I thought Niskanen was really good as well. He was good defensively, and I think he was physical. Like, he was physical today. I thought he had some really good plays. Penalty kill, I thought he was really good. I honestly thought the defense on the penalty kill was really good. Like, they were making really smart plays, putting sticks in lanes, blocking passes. Like, they were doing really good on that. I think another thing, too, that comes with that is that the power plays aren't really in sync yet. But regardless, it's still good to see from your penalty kill. You don't really want them to be struggling. But again, I thought Niskanen was good in his own end. I thought he was going to move the puck out. And there was a chance late that he had where the puck just found him at the boards and there was nobody on him and he waited. And I was like, he's got to shoot that. Because it was right when the Penguins tied it. And I was like, if he shoots this, they might have a chance to get it. He didn't shoot. I can't remember what he did, whether he passed or threw it around the boards. I can't remember. But regardless, I think he had a strong game.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think more of the same from Niskanen. I think he's just such a complimentary defenseman. He makes Provorov better. Provorov makes him better. And we're seeing that. We actually have a legitimate top pairing, and it's beautiful to watch.
It is.
All right. Next, the man of the hour in some kind of way, Shane Gostisbehere.
I thought Coach was good.
1 assist. He was a +1, 1 hit, 1 block. He had 1 giveaway. 18, just over 18 minutes a night. Just over 18 minutes tonight. Over 1 minute power play time, which led all defensemen.
I think Ghost played with confidence today. I think that was the biggest thing that I saw from him. I thought he was smart with the puck. He wasn't making like stupid plays that we may have seen before. Not saying he does it all the time, just in general. But again, I think Ghost played to another level today, and I think we're starting to get a little bit of that old Ghost back. I think he really started to ramp it up at some points. He was moving the puck well out of his own zone. He was making smart plays, getting it over to his defensive partner to move it out. And I thought he was good defensively, generated a couple times on the power play. And again, I thought he had a strong performance.
Yeah, and I think he is going to make it very difficult for the coaches to want to put Robert Haig and Justin Braun together as a pairing over one of them and Shane Gostisbehere, which is a lot nicer of a mix of play styles, which you really want to have maybe more offensive defensemen with somebody who's more of a stay-at-home. So having two guys who are not that effective moving the puck together, not a great pairing. So I'm hoping that this kind of gets Ghost back in the lineup and back into producing on a regular basis, because that is a complete game changer for this team. It's as big as Nolan Patrick rejoining this team, which, again, crazy. We don't even have Nolan Patrick with this team. Or
Lindblom.
And that Lindblom might play, which is even more insane.
Yeah,
but I think he had a really good game. It was nice to see, and I like that the fans are starting to buy in on the Shane Gostisbehere comeback story, because I think it's time. All right, we got 2 more defensemen left. We got the 2 goalies. So Igor Zamula.
I thought Zamula was good. He wasn't really that noticeable.
Yeah, agreed.
His ice time wasn't up on NHL.com. You don't have that.
No ice time still. There's nothing.
Yeah,
There's no stats for me. As he has 1 hit, 1 block, 1 giveaway tonight. But he's a very poised player. I mean, it's kind of to his credit that you don't notice him that much, because he didn't really make any mistakes. I think he had 1 mistake really in the game, and it's that 1 giveaway. But overall, I don't expect him really to play much in the playoffs and all that. I think it was just nice that they gave him some play just in case they need him. Yeah.
Personally, I would have liked to have seen him on the power play at some point if they maybe gotten another power play. I mean, they only had the 1. That just kind of stinks. They couldn't really work it out.
Yeah.
But again, I thought he was good for the I guess you'd say whatever minutes he had. I think he probably is around the same as Friedman, probably like 11 to the 14 range, something along.
Yeah.
I thought he was good. I thought there was a couple plays that he made in the defensive zone where they got the puck out quick. Sometimes it looked like he maybe took a little bit too long because I think that might just be the way that he is because he's so big and it takes him a little bit longer to get to the puck and things like that. But again, I thought he had a solid performance for his first NHL game.
Yeah, no, I think we have a lot more to see from him, and I wouldn't be surprised if he does get another opportunity, but maybe not in these round robins. But I think it was nice that they gave him some ice time tonight. And overall, he's just an exciting player to have in the system. But
I agree.
We'll see what happens with him. He'd have to perform really well at practice at this point to make some of these later games, I would say. All right, next, last defenseman, Mark Friedman.
I thought Friedman played good. I thought he played really good, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he played physical. He's mean.
Mm-hmm. He reminded me of Braun.
Defenseman. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't know if he's as good at Braun as Braun. I
think he has more of an offensive
role.
upside than Braun.
Yeah, for sure. I would definitely agree with that. He might even be a better skater, at least a little quicker. But he's not as big as Braun.
No.
But he's got the same. He's got character. He's got heart.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think he's the best option the Flyers really have outside of the top 7 that they have. I think Friedman's
just like you said before,
guy.
He's an NHL defenseman now.
Yeah, exactly. If he's not going to be a Flyer, then he'll be somewhere else in the NHL down the line.
Mm-hmm.
Just the reality.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the 2 goalies, and we'll close it out here. So let's start with Brian Elliott.
I thought Moose was really good. Like he had 3 really good saves on Malkin at one point. Yeah. The power play one-timer, that little breakaway, and then that little cutback shot with the kick pad with the kick save with his pad there. He had a really good game for I think he had around like 10 saves, something like that. Am I right?
So he had 12 of 13 shots saved, so 12 saves. 1 for 1 on the power play. He had a 0.929 save percentage in 40 minutes of ice time.
Yeah, so, I think Hart had 12 saves on 13 shots.
Yeah, but Elliott was in the no. He had less shots.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I said that all wrong. I'm sorry. Even strength for Elliott, it was 12 out of 13 shots. Then an additional power play shot, so it was 14 overall. And then for Carter Hart, you're right. It's he gave up 1 at even strength, 7 for 8. Power play was 3 for 3, 1 for 1 on the shorthanded. So of total, it was 11 out of 12. So I read that wrong. So apologies. So it's 13 out of 14 for Elliott, 11 out of 12 for Hart. But I don't think Hart was as challenged anywhere near as Elliott was.
I don't Hart had a handful of nice saves, and they weren't like nice saves. They were just like shots from the point that he'd cover up. Rebound control was fabulous.
Elliott had to play well.
Yeah, he had to play. Yeah, and I think the thing is with that too is that the Penguins, one, that they're down in the game, right? They're down 2-1 going into the third,
and the Flyers
took
their foot off the pedal.
Well, yeah, that's another thing that I could add. And another thing is that this is the last period that the Penguins were playing before they go to play Montreal. So they probably wanted to ramp it up a little bit there.
Absolutely. They probably yelled that in the locker room.
Yeah. And it's no surprise there with Mike Sullivan. So even still.
And they still lost.
And it's funny, too, because before the game they had the Wired Stadium series on with the clips.
Yeah.
And that was on right before the game. And that gave me some Flyers Penguins some goosebumps there. But all in all, it was a good game. I thought both goalies played good. It was a fun game for the first time in 140-something days.
Yeah, and I agree. Let's just lump it in together. Carter and Elliott, I think they both played well. I think Elliott played really well for when he came in, especially coming in cold. It's really good to see, actually, just in case that Elliott still got it. Because I expect Elliott, I mean, he's definitely getting one of these round-robin games, I would imagine.
I'd have to think probably the middle one.
Yeah, he's going to get something.
I think the Capitals.
Yeah, you got to figure he's going to get a game in there.
They already said he was.
Yeah, so there you go.
He already said he was. So.
You wouldn't want to leave him cold, so it wouldn't be wise. All right, I think that was a pretty good performance. Overall, that was our player review. Check out Joe Borik's video on our channel as well. He's got a much shorter video, but that's just about the game in general. This one is about the players. Follow us, follow Nitty Gritty, follow Chris Marr at, what is it, Flyers Mania 93?
Flyers Fan Mania 93, yeah.
Oh, I got it wrong. Flyers Fan Mania 93 on Twitter. Follow Flyers Nitty Gritty. Follow me. Follow Jamie. Follow everybody. All of our writers. Follow Joe. And thank you. And remember to always stay gritty.